Last week, I spent a couple of days with Chef Benedict, my first visit in this tale of two chefs. Today, it's time to meet with Chef Alex Oke, the owner of XO Boutique Bakery in Victoria Island, Lagos. This colorful and creative pastry chef transforms his passion into visually exciting and truly mouth-watering delights. I had the pleasure of catching up with him for a nice chat over coffee and a few goodies at Angelo's Town Cafe in Lekki, Lagos. Thank you so much for coming and talking to me today, taking time out of your very busy, as I can imagine, schedule, running a bakery. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's great to be here. You know, when you asked me to share my, my journey, I thought, I was very excited. I'm very excited to do it.
So am I, and I'm gonna start picking your brain right away, talking kind of about your career decision to become a chef.
There was no, I would say, particular eureka moment where I woke up one day and said, "You're going to be a chef." I think my journey has been, a summation of many different experiences. But the one thing that was sort of underlying all of this was my love for food. And that was instilled in me at a very young age by both my parents. I come from a household where both my mom and my dad cooked. My journey has been so varied and diverse in terms of interests and activities. So in a way that already shattered any preconceived notions of gender roles. So I didn't grow up believing, for example, that men, were not supposed to be in the kitchen cooking. I was always part of growing up for me. From I think the age of 5, I remember actually cooking like pizza and other things, and I particularly loved baking because of the patience that it requires. So I guess to answer your question in a short way, everything I've done has driven me towards food as a profession.
We were treated to lovely drinks as the cafe started to get busier. And I got more of the chef life inside scoop. So, the next question I want to ask you revolves around your training. Now, obviously, it's pretty tough training that happens when you're becoming a chef.
Right.
Obviously, you went to culinary school.
Yeah.
And tell me a little bit about that experience.
Journey.
Because you already, had a lot of experience cooking.
Right.
So it's almost like going back to school and maybe relearning.
Absolutely.
How'd you cope with that?
Well, yes, I did go to culinary school in Vancouver, in Canada, a culinary institution called PICA, which stands for the Pacific Institute of Culinary Arts on Granville Island.
So Vancouver, Canada, so you don't mind being cold, because I know they have bitter winters.
No, they do. However, Vancouver is actually one of the warmest cities in Canada, so it's kind of on par with London, the weather. It's sort of, it's gray and gloomy, but it has probably 2 months of amazing summer, and then it rains the rest of the time. But yes, culinary school was to some degree a bit of repetition. However, I always say that when it comes to food, practice makes perfect, and even when you're perfect, you can still afford to practice, because that is what keeps you relevant, that is what keeps you abreast, and that's what also brings you inspiration. If you're not cooking and trying different things, then you probably are not going to be inspired. So I thoroughly enjoyed culinary school. And this is also a career change for me, by the way. I used to work in marketing and branding.
Oh, wow.
For some Fortune 500 companies before I worked for AT&T.
So you've had a sort of a rehash of your career completely. A reinvention is what I kind of called it, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So absolutely, and I think there wasn't any moment when I realized that I wanted to be a chef. But there was a moment where I realized that I was not happy at my last job.
Ah.
Right. So for me, attending culinary school was actually a way of buying myself a bit more time.
Okay.
It basically was, Alex, focus on a hobby. Do something for you rather than for anyone else.
That's
and
right.
Since I've always loved cooking, right? I figured that by going to culinary school, even if I wasn't going to do this commercially, it was going to be for me, and this was something I would keep close to my heart.
Oh wow.
Oh, yeah.
My goodness, we're getting spoiled today. Thank you so much. Somebody who would come and say, you know, to their parents, I want to be a pastry chef. You know, you might be met with a little bit of hesitation or raised eyebrows, etc. Or I want to be a contemporary artist, or I'd love to be a dancer. You know, what advice would you give somebody who is going to try to do what you are doing?
So I would say my advice to young people looking to get started in this industry, in the food industry, would be first and foremost to seek knowledge. You can do it one of two ways. You can either train under a chef who's been in the industry for a long time, an executive chef, head chef, or you can go the route of culinary school, where you go to school, learn the theory and the practice of the fundamentals of the culinary arts. Once you have a good foundation, I think then it's really just getting a lot of experience and working with different people.
So your bakery is Exo Bakery.
Exo Boutique Bakery.
Oh.
Exo Bakery for short.
Exo Boutique Bakery, I love that name. And I've had the pleasure of eating some of your delights there. And I hope to be able to come and visit you there as well.
Absolutely.
And see everything in action.
Yes.
See the.
Take this as my invitation to you.
Thank
You
you.
must come.
Thank you. That was me inviting myself, and then you being so gracious as to allow me. Thank you. And I really look forward to doing that.
Yeah. No, absolutely. You're invited. I'm always willing to have anyone who's willing to learn the tools of the trade come by and get your hands dirty.
So thank you so much, and I really look forward to coming there.
So, yeah,
I hope you're not going to regret it.
Never.
I was definitely going to visit Chef Alex on his own turf very soon. Hey, how you doing? Nice to see you.
Hi, Sonia.
Hello.
Hi, it's
How
good
are
to
you?
see you. You're right on time.
I am. I told you I'd be
Yes,
here.
yes,
Okay.
I love it. So we've got some bread we need to roll up, so let's get to it.
Okay,
All right.
ready. Chef Alex runs a tight ship at Exo Bakery, whether it's hands-on or supervising his staff. He always exudes passion and creativity in everyone he inspires. Okay.
All right, so you got your apron on.
Yes, I'm ready to work, chef.
Cool.
I see you got lots of dough there.
I do. So this bread is called challah.
Challah bread.
Some people pronounce it challah just because of the C before the H. It's
Jewish
traditionally
bread.
it's a Jewish bread.
That's
Exactly. It is normally shaped either as a loaf or as a wreath.
Nice.
So round. We do it here as a round.
So
shape.
there's some braiding involved.
Absolutely. So it's a braided bread.
Braiding bread creates a visually appealing result. He's fast, don't you think?
This is a type of bread we call an enriched bread or an enriched dough. And the reason we call it an enriched dough is because it's got enrichments, fat and sugar. So you've got a bit of butter, we have sugar, we have milk powder,
Oh, wow.
a bit of honey. Gives it that
so
nice dark
sweetness.
color.
And tell me a
Exactly.
little bit about the yeast that you use, because
Sure.
I know whenever I'm making bread, you know, it's that instant packet yeast.
Absolutely.
And I know there are other techniques, like some bakers
Yeah.
leave their dough open to the air and get the
Absolutely.
yeast that exists in the atmosphere.
Absolutely.
And then others use like this master yeast
Yes.
block kind of
Absolutely.
thing that they keep
Absolutely. Yes.
cutting off. Or what's
Sure.
your
So
technique?
we've got a couple of different techniques we use here. For an enriched bread like this,
Right.
it's best to use instant,
Oh,
actually.
okay.
Yes, because it's got a lot of what? It's got a lot of sugar to
Right.
feed on, and that's
Right.
what yeast likes. So instant yeast
Fantastic.
is perfect for this because you want a lot of activity, you don't want a lot of fermentation.
Yeasts are used as leavening agents in making bread. They cause the bread to rise by converting the sugars present in the flour to carbon dioxide and ethanol. So you don't even have to like activate that yeast before you use it.
No,
you
if you use an instant
in.
dry yeast, the only time you need to activate the yeast is if you're using active yeast, right? So you have to put it in a bit of warm water or milk. Now we do have some breads that we use a mother or a levain to make. And I'll show you that before you leave.
Yeah, please do.
It's called a sourdough culture, and we use it in our sourdough breads.
Okay, that's fantastic. And you're like doing a lot of rolling out here. Is this like the braiding for the braids?
Absolutely.
That are going to go on?
So what we're doing now is we're just rolling the bread out into a long, we just call this a baguette or fissile shape.
Good.
Yeah.
So if you were doing a baguette, you just leave it like that?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Exactly.
I'm learning.
So when we have them, I like this table because I know I need this exact length. So this works for me.
See, you're doing it so easily. I hope you're going to get me to do one of these.
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to have you jump in on the next set.
Okay.
So you have to do it in batches, I guess.
Right.
You can't just stretch it all out at once because the dough gets very tense. So you notice I've done some about halfway, then I'm going to come out to stretch them all the way out.
All right.
Here shortly. So we're almost done here. That's number 2. Number 3. Okay, so now we've got the long lengths.
Right.
And so now we're just going to do a simple braid, right?
Okay,
so
simple braid.
I'm going to come over here.
Okay.
And we're just going to braid it like you were braiding hair, right?
Look at that. Makes it look so easy. Oh, wow.
All right. When you come to the end, you just want to kind of roll that off.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm going to finish that off on this
side.
Okay. You get to practice your braiding.
Yeah. I've braided hair before.
Yeah. Do you have daughters?
I have one daughter, and she had incredibly resilient, tough hair. It was always a task to braid her hair, but at the end, it was beautiful.
Well, let's hope you had enough practice.
Yes, I have. Lots of it, lots of it.
Okay, so once we get the braid, then we're just going to roll it.
That is so pretty.
Yeah.
So that's a complete challah bread done.
Absolutely. That's the challah bread done.
Wow.
And then this just proves up. I'm going to bring this out when I did slightly earlier. See, it's already proving a little bit.
Okay, so that means for anybody who doesn't know, proving is?
Proving is what we call the second fermentation. So after you've had the bread rise at first, then you divide and you pre-shape, then shape it. You have to allow it to kind of grow, let the yeast double in size. Exactly.
So is there ever a point in time when it stops, or will it just keep on?
It will keep on going, and then it'll overproof such that when you put it in the oven, it just collapses. And you don't
want that. I see. See, I never knew that.
Yeah. So, and I will show you how to test. So a good way to test whether your bread is proofed is if you poke it, if it immediately springs back, you know it's fully proofed. So see, we still have a small indentation here.
Right.
If it was fully proofed, it would spring all the way back.
And then can I try the difference here?
Absolutely. Okay. This is completely brand new, so it's not going to spring anywhere, really.
Okay, but this one comes right up.
Well, you're not... See?
Okay.
If it's fully proofed, it will come all the way up. Trust me, you wouldn't even see that.
There's still a little indentation.
See that indentation.
Okay, great.
So actually, what you want to do is you want to put some cling film to cover it, unless it will form a skin. Yeah. We don't want that skin. I'll have Afam. Can I have the? Okay, lovely. I'll just take that. All right.
And you put that over there.
Yes.
And I see that rack over there. You've got other stuff proving as well. Brilliant.
Absolutely.
Next, it would be my turn, and I was going to have to bring my A game. Let's see how I get on. LOL.
The trends, the people behind the trends, the conversation, and the reactions from the social cyberspace. We bring together experts, especially the youth, to share thoughts and opinions on burning issues that concern you, from technology, social issues, sports, and lots more. Don't be told. Be a part of the conversation right here on Channels Television. Every day, thousands of people around us move, work, create, and innovate. Right within our neighborhoods, each person's actions and words directly or indirectly influence the way we live. Whether it's the carpenter, a mechanic, or the chef, all these make up the fabric of our community. Community Report, only on Channels Television.
So now that you've watched me do it, why don't you try your hands at it?
These able hands, yes.
You've had them washed.
I have.
So I'll just have you take a bit of flour.
Flour.
Yeah, you don't want to have a lot of flour on the surface because then it builds, it basically removes any friction, right?
Right.
You want a bit of friction when you're rolling this out, otherwise
Okay.
you're just massaging it.
Okay,
Really.
all right.
Okay, so let's go.
So about the
you-
length of this,
Exactly, so you're starting in the middle
I'm pulling out.
and you're pulling out slowly.
Hey,
Just
he's done it.
feel the
I like
dough.
that. Keep
Feel
going.
the dough, feel the dough.
Feel the dough.
Feel it slowly. There you go, you got it. If at any point you feel the dough is getting too tense, if you feel it might rip, because you will feel it,
Yeah.
just stop. Go to the next one, allow it to rest for a couple of minutes.
And then come back to it.
It's as simple as that.
Okay.
Yes. So
I think I'm at that stage.
absolutely. So
Put
bread
that
making
down.
is as much of an art as it is a science.
Yeah, and you're
right?
feeling what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Okay, and I'm also, my skirt's also feeling what I'm doing too. Getting flour on it. Okay, rolling out. Let me just like not be afraid of it.
Yeah,
Let me
no,
just,
exactly.
Like let it go.
Absolutely. And see, there you go. As soon as you
Relax.
you handle it firmly, then that's beautiful.
Is that good?
That's it. That's lovely.
Okay, so now
So
I
you're gonna
put that
come
back.
here. Lovely.
A little bit more flour. Okay, I'm on a roll now.
Yes,
Let me
you
just
are.
like handle this.
You've made bread before, haven't you?
I have, but you know, I've actually not made a French loaf, and I'm usually just a loaf
Uh-huh.
person,
Okay.
just sort of getting it in the bread tin and thinking, oh, I've done it. But this is far more involved in the
Absolutely.
sense of, there we go.
And you've got it. So this one we're just going to stretch out slightly more to
Okay.
match the length of these other ones.
Come on now.
Nice. And so you can always, if you get a little fat section,
Just
yeah,
go to that
You can go
place.
to that section, exactly. And just stretch it out a bit. That's beautiful. I think we're good.
Okay,
So now you're going to bring this and line them up.
okay, line
There
this
you
up,
go. Line
this
that one
up.
up. Absolutely beautiful.
and this one,
There
and
you
then
go.
start my braid.
Yeah,
Watch me.
you got
Here.
it. I'm a lefty, so I braid kind of
Yeah,
back to front.
and I'm like wondering what kind of, whether I'm a lefty or a righty or
Yeah.
what I am.
No, you got it though. You're in it. Fantastic. So the nice loose braid is great. So you don't want a very tight braid.
Oops. Right.
Yeah,
that
there
one.
you go.
This
There
one.
You go.
That one.
Beautiful.
This one. And a
Next
little.
time we'll have you do the 6-strand method.
Oh, that's just evil. That's just wicked. So that's
Nice.
this
And
half.
you finish out here.
And this.
Fantastic.
And then you said to just.
Yes. So now you're just gonna
Gently.
Exactly, and you're gonna lift it up as you go.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so it doesn't-
So it doesn't create that too much tension down there.
Okay.
Fantastic. Okay.
Come on, holla.
You got it. Holla for the holla.
Holla. Okay.
All right. Great. Lovely. So if you want this to really beautiful. If you want this to really tuck under, you can make a more of a pointed edge here.
So there's more
so that
surface
it really
area
just
to.
tucks under. Very nice. Beautiful. Gorgeous.
Okay.
All right. Well done.
So now, what's next, chef?
All right. So next.
All those?
And look at all the different types of bread made right here. I'm spoilt for choice. Just look at my attempt, fully proved. Not bad for a first attempt, eh?
Okay. All right. So now we've let them proof.
So
They usually proof for about 30 minutes. Exactly. So see,
Yep.
when
Springs
you press,
right
it's
up.
gonna spring back.
And
see?
they look pretty. Which one
Yeah.
is mine? The prettier one.
Yeah, of course. That's definitely yours. All right. So the next step, because we want it to shine and have a nice golden brown appearance, is to use a technique we call egg washing.
Oh, let's
I'm
show
sure you've done
everybody.
this before, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've done egg and I've also done milk.
Milk, butter, stuff like that. Okay. So we're literally gonna take the egg. And we're just gonna brush it over.
Like
now
so.
you wanna be careful. Exactly. You don't wanna go
Overdo
back
it.
a double dip because then you get something that's a bit eggy, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I just like to get.
It's not egg and bread, it's bread.
Exactly. So I find one dip is more than enough all the time. Make sure you get your little crevasses and your little corners and edges so you get a nice even
That is nice.
Yeah. See, it's already glistening, right?
Yes.
It's not even baked up yet. So why don't you do
I
that
get to
one?
do that.
Alrighty.
Okay. Hope I'm gonna get the right amount of.
Perfect. Beautiful. That's it.
Okay, so here we go.
Alright.
Thanks.
It's lovely. I like a nice big brush.
You know?
'Cause you can get it all. No, it's all right. It's just gonna spring back in.
All the nooks and crannies.
Exactly.
I think I might have nailed it.
Yes.
Have I, chef?
You have. It's gorgeous.
A plus?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes. So now this is another chance to get creative, right? If you like seeds, nuts, whatever, you can do that. For these purposes, we're not going to do that.
All right.
But that's an option to do it right now. So you're going to take the tray and we're going to put it into the oven. So this is called a deck oven, a bread oven. It allows us to control the temperature at the top and at the bottom.
How hot is this? I mean, I can feel the heat in there.
So generally, any enriched loaf, you're going to bake around 180 to 190 degrees.
Okay.
Yeah, this is going to go for about 30 minutes.
Okay. I need this kind of oven in my house.
It makes your life easier.
Easier, it certainly does. 30 minutes.
That's it.
Ready to
we're
roll.
Gonna check back.
Okay.
Alrighty.
I'll be glad to taste it.
Yes. All right.
Alex has got me egg washing everything.
Absolutely.
Since I'm such an expert now at it. So, do this. A little of this, a little of that.
So you know these are real baker's gloves.
Oh,
see how
yeah,
worn
look
they
at that. They can tell a story. How's that?
Good.
So that I
Very
get
nice.
that?
You got it.
Okay, another one.
You got it.
It's like,
Yeah.
okay.
So if you were gonna do this by yourself at home, Sonia, what toppings would you put on it?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, definitely I would want poppy seeds.
Okay,
Or I might put kalonji, some onion seeds on it.
Nice.
Or what do they call it, nigella. I would try, what else? I don't know how walnuts would hold out.
Yeah. Chopped up, they would be quite nice.
Maybe.
Yeah. Pumpkin seeds.
Pumpkin seeds. I think dates would burn, that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
so, but dates could go inside, right?
Dates could go inside, yeah.
Absolutely.
Or raisins.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely some sea salt. No, you can't do salt. Okay, you can do salt and sweet.
Actually, it would be really nice.
Yes. I'd love to see some of the other things that you bake in the bakery.
So why don't we put a little platter and do a bit of a
Yes,
tasting?
I'd love that.
All right then.
The tasting part. My favorite. Chef Alex put together a fabulous table of some XO Boutique Bakery treats just for me. Wowzers! Including a slice of the freshly baked challah bread.
All right.
Wow.
Here we are,
Oh
right?
my
So you said
goodness.
you'd like a little spread of what we have.
And
So
it's certainly got a big spread of what you
yes.
have. This is
Yeah, yeah.
incredible.
Fantastic.
So I see sweet, I see savory, I see something sticking out here, which is my favorite thing, smoked salmon,
Right,
cookies.
right. Yeah.
I ate breakfast, but it doesn't matter. I'm still going to try this.
Whatever you can't finish, we'll just pack it.
Yes! Okay. So, tell me a little bit about what we have here. Now, this looks like almost like a little bread loaf.
So the shape is a financier, right? So this is our vegan banana bread.
I see.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so when you say vegan, that means
it has no elements of anything that came from an animal.
So no egg.
No egg in there. There's no milk, no dairy, none of that as well.
And then I see what I think is some of the challah bread.
Yes, so that's a slice. So why don't you pick it out? It's still warm.
I will. Let me see.
Yeah.
Look at that. Let me see how
So just a
it
thin
feels.
slice.
Lovely, light.
Yeah.
Light.
Why don't you give it a try? Yeah, absolutely. And see if you can pick out the elements we talked about. You know, it's a bit of honey in there.
Yeah, I taste a little saltiness.
Yes, absolutely.
I love the way salt and sweet go together.
Absolutely.
You know, I was asking you about that.
About that, and so that's why you can actually put the coarse sea salt you suggested.
I'm loving that. I'm loving that.
How about this, Sonia? Why don't you try one sweet item?
I will.
Yeah?
It's got to be the chocolate cookie.
For it. Go for
It's
it.
oozing with
With chocolatey
invitation.
goodness.
So here we go.
Yes. So you notice
Oh my god.
it's also got a little bit of salt in there, so it's not just a one note. It's not just sweet.
It's got 10 notes in there. And they all smell lovely. Thank you so much. And from us at Food Journey, everybody come to XO Bakery. It is a place to eat and enjoy yourself. I certainly did. Bye. See you next time.
Bye.